Brandon Trueblood. And a roast by Moe Train. And now, here's Billy!
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. Hey, Thumper, what is the first thing a man puts in a woman when they get married?
Bad ideas.
No, the wedding ring. Think about that for a minute.
You put it on her.
The first thing he puts in her.
His wedding ring?
Think about it.
You're losing me here.
Okay, so it's the wedding night, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What's he putting in her? The first thing he's putting in her? His
The cock
finger. No, not the
So
cock.
your wedding was different than mine then. I put a cock ring in first, put it on, and then it was awesome.
So you just went right for the hump. You didn't
Why
you
do
didn't do any
foreplay?
manuals.
Because I'd already been with both of them for, 8 years and the other for several months.
You mean you weren't a virgin when you got married? Neither was she.
Well, the first one was a virgin, or the second one was a virgin after. Well, she wasn't a virgin after me. She was a virgin when I met her. And then, 8 years later, then we got married.
Ah, okay. Well, the joke is, you're putting your finger inside her, and that's what the ring. Anyway.
So you soak your finger in cider, like apple cider.
Yes.
Except it'd be tuna cider.
Oh God. That's horrific.
Not pocket cider.
Oh, okay. We're gonna move on to the next joke because I'm gonna vomit inside this helmet. A husband says to his wife, "I bet you can't tell me something that will make me both happy and sad at the same time." She thinks about it for a moment and says, "Well, your penis is bigger than your brother's." Oh.
Yeah, I have similar issues.
Really?
Yeah, mine's way bigger than my brother's, and I got a half-eaten Tic Tac.
I don't want to know these things. The more I'm learning, the more I'm not wanting to know. A woman gets out of the shower and she says to her boyfriend, "Honey, I've shaved down there. Do you know what that means?" The boyfriend says, "Yeah, it means the drain is clogged again."
About the hair going down the drain.
Yeah. Well,
Oh my God, Chewbacca took a shower in here. What'd you do, shave his back? Jesus H. Christ, Margaret.
What does tofu and dildos have in common?
That I cannot answer.
They're both meat substitutes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
You like that? That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that they discovered a lesbian dinosaur recently?
A Lickalotopus?
Yes, a Lickalotopus. You've read the story. Yes, it's been all over the news, apparently.
You know what you call a blind dinosaur?
What do you call a blind dinosaur?
Do you think he saw us? You know what you call a blind dinosaur's dog?
What?
Do you think he saw us Rex?
Oh my God. Now we're totally dipping into the dad joke territory.
Got more dad jokes right between my left testicle and my left thigh. Right side, this side.
No.
Let me pull this out. Let me whip it out.
No. Keep it right there. Hey, what do you call a cheap circumcision?
Taking the carrot to the peeler.
No, you call it a ripoff.
Ooh, that stings. That really stings.
Hey, Thumper, what did the leopard say to the leper say to the prostitute?
Here, hold this for a minute.
And he said, keep the tip.
That's even grosser. That's disgusting. I got one for you. What do you get when you cross a telephone pole with a rooster?
I don't know what.
A 40-foot cock to reach out and touch someone. You got to be old to get that joke.
Well, yeah. That's now you're really showing your age. Hey, Thumper, what do you get when you cross a dick with a potato?
What?
Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the new Old Show Band. So, Thumper, I got this anonymous email to my email box, and it contained a roast from, I don't know, this guy. He seems like maybe a pro wrestler or something, or like some kind of wrestler. It's like the, oh, and we gotta play it. And
the roast is pretty good. They're just really expensive now.
Well, I don't know. This is really strange. It's
and then
strange.
At the grocery store, they come in these nice trays, and they got carrots and onions and tomatoes.
No, not that kind of roast. We're not eating. This isn't like a dinner roast. No, we're getting roasted. Like how like Dean Martin used to they used to do these roasts, and they would.
Like when somebody would have a birthday, and Don Rickles would come out and say silly stuff about him.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
That kind of, now that makes more sense, because I was like, did he like send it frozen and dry ice, or?
No.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
This is a video roast, so we're gonna get roasted, and I'm not sure who gets roasted worse, me or you, or evenly. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I have a suspect, and I've confronted the person who I suspect had hired this roaster, but he is denying it. He said he's this person who, how can I say who it is without saying who it is? A person who goes by the name of a large African creature.
Let me guess, he's the guy that is all about getting his only grands.
Yeah. I guess he would call him a trans-African mammal, right? Because he identifies as an African mammal.
Big old horn on him, I suppose.
Yes. So let's take a look at this roast. See what we think.
Alrighty.
Yo, what's going on, Thumper and Billy? It's the Moe Train! My boy wanted me, the Moe Train, the fucking legend, to message you two fucking losers. That's right, bros. Because from what I hear, bros, you both can go fuck yourself. What the fuck? Now listen, I know that Thumper has a stupid-ass car collection. Bro, you really gonna tell me that you collect Pontiacs? Seriously? Sunfires? Fucking pieces of shit Pontiacs, bro? That tells me all I need to know about you. Because even though you got a car collection, even though you're collecting these pieces of shit Pontiacs, they're all falling apart. Because you got no skills. You're a fucking loser. You think you're bad because you got cars. You got toys you can't play with because you can't fix them. That's right. It takes you so long to fix them, bro. They're gonna be classics. They're gonna be antiques by the time you fucking fix them. Because these piece of shit Pontiacs are the worst, just like you. But I'll tell you what, there's no way your boy Billy's gonna help you out. Because he can't fucking play video games to save his life. Because he can't do shit. He's a fucking loser himself. He doesn't have the money to buy your cars. But your car's a piece of shit anyway. You probably bought them for fucking $50 a piece. But Billy, what the fuck is up with your gaming, bro? All you do is sit around, play games, thinking you're cool, thinking you're gonna actually win. But the Moe Train could jump online and whip your ass, bro, because he knows that you are the fucking worst. At least you aren't as fat as Thumper is, bro. But what the fuck is up with this helmet that you always got on your head, bro? Your fat fucking head, bro. What are you protecting? Not a brain, bro, because you're just stupid as shit. What the fuck? I bet you got some weird fucking divots in your head or you get some weird fucking hair, bro, because you are the worst. You are a loser. You both are pieces of shit. The Moe Train hates them both. The Moe Train hates pieces of shit who thinks they're cool getting cars that they can't fix just because they think they're mechanics or they think they're tuners. Fuck you, bro. You suck. And Billy, you are just a fucking gamer. You're just one that probably fucking still lives in your parents' basement jerking off. Yourselves, bro. Go do what's nah. Fuck you both, bros.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got a tiny penis and a swirly hairdo. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, left nut.
Yes, right nut.
Look at the dick between us.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who's your daddy? What does he do? Your daddy slaps your mother for squeezing you out because you're such a failure. You're such a failure that Stephen He is like, oh my god, he's such a failure.
So yeah, I'm a little unsure about this whole thing.
Yeah, it's not really a roast. He's just kind of like
Yeah.
failing.
Failing. But he said my boy. My boy wanted me to roast you.
Yeah,
My boy. Who do you think his boy is?
He's trying to do the Macho Man, but he just can't do it.
Yeah. And it's very, very like wrestler, kind of in the wrestler vein. But
Well, he's trying to be a wrestler, but he looks like he's got 11-inch arms.
I mean, I'm a little upset because, you know, he talks
He's
about
got the cute little alfalfa hairdo, like he put his head in the toilet and flushed, and went swirly.
I'm not so much concerned about him. I'm concerned about, you know, somebody has, you know,
Put him up to it.
has put him up to this. I'm wondering who put him up to it. Because
I'm
it's
gonna bet
very.
it's Rhino.
Oh, so you think this is Rhino's idea?
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So this person that I suspect it was, he says that he would own up to it if he did it, right? But then, and I'm going to put up the clip right here. Then he says in one of his streams, he's like, "Oh, but it's just a roast. It's just a roast. It's no big deal. It's just a roast." Yes, I was sent a video of myself and Thumper being roasted. So
Oh,
I have to answer that.
oh,
Oh, I want.
interesting.
And they sent a
Oh,
video in
you're
the mail.
surprised, Rhino? Is Rhino
I-
surprised?
No, I am kind of surprised because you guys are off the radar of the
Great
drama.
acting. That's some great.
So,
acting.
Oh,
no, I'm serious. Like, you guys are not involved in the Manosphere drama, so it is a little shocking that somebody's calling you guys out.
Oh no, it's a roast. It's a
Okay,
roast,
roast. Okay,
I
that's
like
different.
yeah.
right? So that leads me to believe he knows full well that it was him behind it. So
You know, it does make me feel. How can I put it? You know, like when you help the kids to get on the short bus with the tinted windows and the air conditioning and the wheelchair lift. When you help them with something and they get on the bus and they're happy and they got their ice cream and they start licking the window. You know, it's kind of like that.
does this
Is, you
happen
know.
to you in your life?
No, but you know, I have known some special needs people, and you know, being roasted by somebody special needs, it kind of warms my cold dead heart.
Oh, you're saying the guy who roasted us, this Moe guy.
Yeah,
Well,
with
Yeah.
his swirly
swirly
hairdo and
swirly hairdo.
yeah, and his chrome aviators, like he thinks he's Tom Cruise, but you know, Tom Cruise mixed with alfalfa,
You know, maybe
doing a really, really bad Macho Man impression.
yeah. Well, and there's going to have to be an answer, so look for the answer, kids, in the coming weeks. It just has to be done. I'm sorry. So when we come back, we'll speak to my guest, Brandon Trueblood. So stick around.
Now, this could never have happened unless the world's largest manufacturer of automobiles
had put its tremendous resources back of the job of designing and building a sports car to uphold American leadership in every field of transportation. They built her to handle like an angel, with every ounce of weight right where it belongs for perfect balance, clean and sleek and efficient looking, and light and strong. And they kept the cockpit simple and practical. For the power plant, they started with the finest valve and head engine. Some extra special features of higher compression, triple side draft carburetors, and dual exhaust give her 160 horsepower. Naturally, the automatic transmission quadrant's on the floor. That's in keeping with sports car tradition. In addition to the speedometer, there's a tachometer to measure engine revolutions. They call her Corvette, and she belongs to the highway just for the sheer and simple joy of driving, for the open road and the country byway, for Mr. and Mrs. America in a carefree mood. Boy, what a car.
So my guest tonight is Brandon Trueblood, and we're going to talk to him about all kinds of things in his life, like trucking and that kind of good stuff. How are you today, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good, Billy. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm getting to learn, guys within the sphere. I hate saying manosphere. I know. I know it's a thing. It just, to me, it sounds so cheap in a way. It's kind of like, like in the 50s when they came up with like all the like Bolo-Rama and all those kind of things. To me, it like cheapens it. I don't know. I mean, it's just me, but so I'm talking.
Who knows? I don't have a good name for it, or I'd give you one. But
I thought of like the Dude Brood. I don't know how that works. Maybe. Yeah, somebody will not like
I'd
it.
have to say, nah, probably not.
See, there we go. So yeah. So all right. So right now you're in your truck and you have just made a delivery. And so let's talk a little about like the trucking industry and what it's like being a trucker and all that kind of good stuff.
Well, the best part about being a trucker is making trucker bombs. That way I can drive all over America and drop piss on people. It's awesome.
I didn't even know about those until I was like in my 20s. Yeah. And
well, you must be a responsible driver.
I guess, yeah. I don't make my own trucker bombs.
Yeah.
It's not,
well, you see, only deserving people get them.
Yeah, I would imagine that. I mean, look, you're a big. You're the size of like 7 or 8 normal vehicles. Like, why would you fuck with somebody that has that much weight and size over you?
Well, Billy, I'm quite insulted. I might be a fat bastard, but I'm not that big. Jeez,
Well, I'm saying the vehicle, not necessarily the person.
Oh, my mistake. I could, anyways, the worst ones are when like you have to get over, and they say there's an emergency vehicle on the over on the shoulder, and you're supposed to get over so you don't hit anybody and squish somebody, but you put on your blinker to get over, and there's been somebody that's just been tailgating you, but as soon as you want to get over, they have to speed up to get around you. Now, those are the kind of people that get the trucker bomb.
Well, I suppose if you can catch up to them, but usually you can't, right?
Well, I don't have to catch up to them. I get them when they're passing by, and I don't just use any trucker bomb. I use cups. These plastic cups with a plastic lid, because they are guaranteed to come open upon impact.
Oh yeah, I can see that, and making quite a mess.
Yes. Just imagine, a cup full of stale piss on your windshield. It's glorious.
Have you ever nailed like a convertible or something to that thing?
No, unfortunately not. Nor a motorcycle.
Well, please don't do the motorcycles because it might be
Well,
me.
ride responsibly.
Well, yeah, I try to. I generally I don't ride like a douche. I don't split lanes or any of that kind of stuff. But there are plenty of guys who do, and that's this. I always call them the statistics that make the rest of us look bad.
Yeah. There's old motorcyclists and bold motorcyclists, but there's no old, bold motorcyclists.
Exactly, because they've been their ticket has been punched quite some time ago. So right now you're sitting at a Walmart, from what you told me. You're waiting for your
Yes.
paperwork.
A beautiful Walmart distribution center.
Take me from start to finish on like what a job entails.
Well, you'll get a notification that they want you to show up somewhere to pick up something. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like today, I'm delivering almond milk. And even though I have lots of questions of how they milk the almonds, I don't have to worry about that because I know they're going to put almond milk in the back of my truck. And I show up there and I show them a number. They're going to give me a number, like a purchase order number or some other type of confirmation number. And I show that to the guys up at the office of wherever they're going to load me. And they say, Brandon, take your truck to door 32. So I take my truck over there. I back it up. I set it to whatever temperature they want because I drive a refrigerated truck. And they load me up. Then they give me what's known as a bill of lading. Let's see if I have one laying around here. Always keep records. It'll cover your ass.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll give me some of this lovely paperwork. This is what's known as a bill of lading.
Hmm.
And it tells me what I'm hauling and where it needs to be at what time. And I take a look at my atlas, because I'm old, and I use paper.
I imagine there's like apps and things for these.
Oh yeah, there's apps for it, but I've gotten burned using the apps. I've had apps try and take me under bridges that I don't fit under.
Oh, that could be problematic. I know there's a channel dedicated to there's some bridge somewhere, I can't remember where it is, that's like notorious for too low and people are constantly running into it.
Well, the one they always warn us about are the parkways in New York City, because the parkways are too low for trucks.
Okay.
And we don't drive on those. That's bad.
Yeah. So you pick up your stuff, you drop it off, and then you're waiting for something that says that you made the delivery, or
I'm waiting for hey, we've got your stuff. They're probably in there doing inventory right now or something. I don't know. They don't. Walmart doesn't let you in their warehouse. Most places don't. And they give you this other paperwork where they sign off your bill of lading, and then you take pictures of your bill of lading and send it to your company, along with filling out a trip report, and you get paid.
Is the payment instantaneous, or?
Oh no! They send me a check a week.
Okay. So how many of these trips do you normally make in a week?
Well, I like the longer trips, and I can do about 500 miles a day.
Okay.
I've had trips as short as 7 miles, and they suck because I get paid with a mile.
Oh.
And there's a delay at either end, and I make more money if there's lots of driving.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I don't know why they would hire for such a short amount of time. And you have like a big 18-wheeler, right? This is
Yeah.
like a small little.
No, it's a big guy. It's 78 feet front to back.
Wow. Now you work mostly in the Midwest and West, or do you just go
No,
all over?
I'm all over. I've been coast to coast, north and south.
What is your favorite area?
I don't have one.
Don't have one. Okay.
No, I dislike going to California because you're limited as a truck to 55 miles an hour there.
Oh, through the whole state.
Through the whole state.
Yeah. Well, Southern California, you can't go over like 20 anyway. So.
You could.
You're not always hauling almond milk, I imagine. You're hauling all things cooled, or you just on this particular one, you're happening to run a refrigerated truck.
Well, I always run a refrigerated truck, but sometimes, like in the winter time, I get. I had a beer run, and I had to heat my beer to keep it from freezing.
Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't think about that as being the thing you had to do.
Yeah. I took a whole bunch of craft beers from Memphis down to Laredo, Texas, where they were further shipped to a port in Mexico. And then from there, they got on a ship and went to South Korea.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you get to touch all kinds of stuff. Unfortunately, I got no beer.
They didn't make that part of the payment?
No.
Not even one can. That stinks. But okay, so you run a whole varied, all kinds of different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about give me an interesting story, a trucking story. I don't know, some weird thing you picked up, some weird thing that happened, or surprise me.
Well, one night I was driving along, and as things go along, sometimes the coffee works through you in places where you just don't have anywhere built up to stop. So you got to pull off to the side of the road. So I did that, because America's a big place full of lots of emptiness. So and there was nobody else on the road. I was in the middle of nowhere in Texas. I was driving down from Denver towards there's a place called Junction, Texas. And it's, that area of Texas is known as hill country. So there's, hills, right?
It's around outside San Antonio, I want to say, right?
Yeah, it's west of San Antonio, between I-20 and I-10.
Right.
But it's a whole lot of nothing. And I thought, okay, I'll just get out. It's 3:00 in the morning or earlier. And I get out and I do my business. And I get back in the truck. And when I turn on my headlights, there's a freaking guy there trying to stop my truck.
Oh, wow.
He jumps out in front of my truck. But I wasn't stopping. I just went right around him and kept on going. And, it freaked me out, because what if he had gotten to me, a minute or two earlier when I was outside with my Johnson out?
Right, well, you're prone, right? So he was some kind of weird, homeless guy, or was he illegal, maybe?
I don't know. And where did he come from? When I stopped the truck and had the lights on, he wasn't there. It only took me 2 or 3 minutes to do what I needed to do outside. And, where did he come from? Why is he walking around in the middle of nowhere?
Wow.
What's going on? I don't know. That's the freakiest thing I've seen while I was trucking.
Yeah, I would say that would freak me out. I think that would freak anybody out.
Yeah. But mostly what I see is absolutely beautiful landscapes. You know, just last Thursday, I was driving out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, headed east, and the sunrise across the painted desert was just amazing. You know, completely breathtaking, more beautiful than any picture you have ever seen, painted or taken. It's just fantastic. You know, I've seen all kinds of different, marvels of nature, as well as all the cities. And I've gotten to meet 21 brothers of the MGTOW persuasion. So that's been my main focus, is just driving around and seeing people, whoever wants to meet up.
Who's ever in the area. That's pretty cool. Thing.
Yeah.
Well, I know you do this. You're basically running a live stream every day. When did
Yes.
you start that? What's the idea behind that? What's your goal with it? I mean, it's interesting. I'll pop in and like there you are, like you're just driving along.
Yeah. My goal is multifaceted. First off, I got the feeling when I first started watching that men needed a place to hang out. And the only place they were doing it was on this stream that was run by a woman. And there was all kinds of shenanigans going on there, and a whole bunch of people who were supposed to be MGTOW being thirsty. I thought, what the heck is going on with this? So I decided I would put a stream up. And I stream 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, sometimes hours a day. And, I get a lot of people come through. I have between about 150 to 250 people just pop on. Sometimes they say things, sometimes they don't. I keep a strict rule for free speech, and I don't like it when people use weasel words. And that's probably why I got the little YouTube vacation that I'm on right now, is because you can say anything, and I don't kick people off unless they're advocating breaking some kind of law.
Right.
Makes
sense.
Had one guy that was advocating paying people's parents off to marry underage children.
Ooh.
And we booted him real quick.
Yeah.
That's the worst one we've had so far.
So you had they'd actually. So this is not just in the chat. You would have them on.
I had them on the panel. I constantly drop links all day long so people can jump on. I've got the paid subscription so that I can have as many people as we want in there.
So that guy had a weird one. Did you have any inspirational stories or? Once, give me a live stream, and if you could remember the date, so somebody can go back and be like, "Oh, I want to look at this stream." It was really stood out to you.
I don't think I've got any that really stand out. They're all pretty decent. I could tell you what was happening, but I don't know what date they would be. If I'd known this question was coming ahead of time, I could have had something for you. But
I'm sorry.
I could say, it was the first time I went through Louisville, and we thought we were going to get hammered, but he couldn't make it. And we we had Douglas Edwards read definitions from the Urban Dictionary that Mouth Agape Ape and I came up with.
Oh, geez. I know Pop loves those.
Most recently, we got MGTOW Outlaw with munging.
Oh, so God.
Don't look it up. Don't look it up. I don't know what it means, and I didn't look it up either. So
I think a lot of them are they're just made up, and just to make you. It's kind of like try to make you puke kind of thing. And I hope that people aren't actually doing a lot of these things. I know humanity is really kind of screwed up, but I mean, some of them are. Wow.
Well, there's 8 billion people in the world, or nearly 8 billion people in the world. So the chances are somebody did that.
That's right. Well, when you think back like through history, it's like, well, how did somebody figure out this was poisonous? Well, a bunch of people had to die, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me some, because there might be somebody watching this who may be like, I want to do trucking. So give me the pros and the cons of being a trucker.
Well, the pros are you get to see all kinds of great countryside, and if you're doing like I do, I had a business in Ukraine, and I had to leave because, well, we got a bunch of Russian tourists that nobody wanted to have there, and I lost everything. So, how do I come back and save up a bunch of money? Well, I live in the truck, so I don't pay any rent.
Right.
And I don't have any, phone bill. I mean, all I have is a phone bill.
Right.
And I buy some food. In fact, I buy a lot of food. But anyways.
Now, are you using like truck stops to, do like showering and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have one of the national chains of truck stops that the company I work for has a relationship with, and I get free showers at that place. And with the amount of money that I spend at the pump, I use their rewards card to actually pay for most of my food and coffee and other drinks and that type of stuff. These headphones I'm wearing, I was able to buy with reward points. So,
nice.
You get.
Oh, you got to take the freebies when they come, right?
Right, and when you're spending $500 a day to fill up your tank,
so that's definitely that. But that's cutting into your bottom line, obviously.
No,
right?
it doesn't cut into my bottom line at all because I don't pay for the gas. Working for the company that I work for, you could be an owner operator, and then you would actually make more money, but you're subject to, like unexpected repair bills. And, if there's a fluctuation in the price of fuel, you're the one that has to eat that. If you haven't bid your contract correctly, and all kinds of different things like that.
So you don't. So you're basically this. I'm going to assume this isn't your truck personally, right?
No, it's not my truck.
Okay, so you've been contracted to run this truck, and the truck is owned by the company.
Correct.
So you don't have to worry about like repairs or the gas or.
Right.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to see what it's like to get one of these trailers rolling and down the road. So come on back.
Margaret Mitchell began writing Gone with the Wind in 1926, and she finished it 10 years later. The writing of a great book, or the making of a fine wine, takes time. Paul Masson's Emerald Dry, a delightful white wine. Paul Masson wines taste so good because they're made with such care. What was true nearly a century ago is still true today. Paul Masson will sell no wine before it's time.
Okay, so now we're moving.
Yep. And as we were saying, or as I was saying before, we were so rudely interrupted by the technology being technology. If I was a young man, I would not start trucking thinking it would be a lifelong career, because self-driving trucks are coming.
I mean, somebody's got to be with the truck, I would figure.
Well, you would think so, but I can see a day when the systems are, robust in the not so near future that, everything is automated. And that'll be a damn shame, because for people with just a high school education, this is one of the few careers you can have that lets you make fairly decent money. I'm still in my first year, And I'm able to save after all my expenses, which are very small, are paid. I'm able to save $1,000 a month.
That's pretty good.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
a young man being able to do that these days is pretty rare. You can't do that in most jobs that you can find with that type of education.
What appeals to me is the traveling aspect and seeing the country, because
Yeah.
I think we're in a wonderful part of the world, and when I go for trips on my work stuff, I end up, I'll work in a little bit of this, that, and the other thing, non-work related, just to see the surrounding areas like museums or sightseeing or whatnot.
Oh,
And
yeah. I try to do that too. I hit more quirky things. My favorite stop has been when I took the guys to Uranus, Missouri.
I imagine that's a draw there.
Yeah, it is. You know, there's a fudge factory in Uranus.
Oh,
There's
come on. Stop it.
honest to God, there is. You can look it up on your own after you get off, or after we finish this. But there's a freak show in Uranus. There's the world's largest belt buckle in Uranus.
Oh my God.
And Billy, I'd like you to know that Uranus is big enough that I can park my truck there.
I might have to work this into a trip of some sort to go to Uranus, Missouri. Oh man.
I bet you didn't know that about Uranus.
I
Most
did
people
not.
don't.
I did not know that about my Uranus or Uranus, Missouri, or any of that. Okay, so all right. So besides the possibility of the self-driving truck situation within the next decade, what are some of the other downsides to being a trucker?
Well, you have to really you have to dispose of any concept of embracing commercialization or um, anything. You have to live a very minimalist lifestyle.
Hmm.
And even though the trucks are big, the room that you have to spend, most of your time in is about the same size as a standard prison cell.
Hmm.
Now, no prison that I know of can you drive out here and look at America, and go out to eat whenever you feel like, or go see your friends.
Right.
But you're going to spend a lot of time in the truck, and when you're not driving, you're going to have some type of a hobby. I read, and I've got an Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscription, so I probably read about 3 books a week, all kinds
Wow.
of different subjects, and a lot of fiction too.
Well, you're feeding your mind, right?
Yeah. Well, some guys, chat online. Some guys do video gaming. Some guys watch movies. It just depends.
Hmm.
Whatever you feel like.
Do you have a good lot lizard story for us?
No, I don't have a good lot lizard story because the chain of truck stops that I go to actively chases them out. They call the police whenever they show up because there's lot lizards. There's also a bunch of drug dealers and stuff that hang out in some of the shadier places.
So what would be like the truck stops to avoid? Is there like a particular brand that that doesn't seem to chase them out?
There are good ones and bad ones, but like the Flying J in East Memphis, Tennessee, is just horrible.
Hmm.
I had to spend the night there one time, and I had this lot lizard come up to my truck, and she had her 12 or 13-year-old son following her around.
Oh God.
It was fucking so sad.
Oh, that's
You
horrible.
know, and I'm thinking to myself, this is how serial killers are born.
What would the kid like sit outside the truck? I mean, not
Yeah,
your truck, obviously, but
stand around waiting for his mom to get finished pulling
oh,
tricks. 'Cause
jeez.
it was pretty, you know, or
Yeah.
else I was, she's either doing that or else I bet she rents him out too.
Oh God. Oh, I don't even want to think about
So, and I just like, get away, go away.
that. And I imagine things are probably going to get more and more and more desperate as things get more and more desperate with the economy. And I mean, is that something you're seeing as far as um, things happening as on your travels? Do you see more, say, homeless than you have when you first started, or?
Well, I've only been driving for about 9 months, so I don't have a huge, you know, experience to pull from for this.
Hmm.
But what I have seen over the winter and into the spring is that the RV dealerships and the boat dealers and now the car dealerships are starting to have full inventories.
Okay.
And that means nobody's spending money.
Interesting.
That's one of the reasons I chose to deliver food is because people will not stop eating,
Of course.
until they can't,
Yeah.
When nobody can afford to buy food anymore, then we're in trouble.
Yeah. That's that and gas money, right? To
Yeah,
get to their job to make the money to get the food.
right.
Yeah, that's going to be a real issue, I believe. Pops has mentioned this on some
Yeah,
of
we
his.
saw we got a little taste of that last fall when the prices went up and then they came back down.
So back, we're back looking at you. Not that we
All
don't
right.
enjoy the road, but
Yeah.
you had taken a trip out recently, as we discussed on my last show with Ike from Seriously Podcast, um, about you had taken a trip and did some blacksmithing, I hope.
Yeah,
I,
we did.
so tell me, how did that go?
Well, that went great. In fact, that trip was inspired by one of your videos, Billy,
I
where you were
remember you.
talking about what do you do if you're a MGTOW and you're traveling around different places. You were looking at a battlefield, which when I'm out east and all the Civil War stuff is out there, I stop at a few of those. Those are really cool. But
Yeah.
I figured, hey, I want to learn something, and I know this guy that has a blacksmith school. So I figured, okay, let's have a meetup out there. And we had a whole bunch of people say, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, until they found out it was in Portland. It's like, nah, I don't want to go to Portland. So,
Yeah. Well, the problem with Portland that I've experienced is getting across town is a real issue. And like the
yeah.
highway system there just sucks.
Oh, it's not the best,
Yeah.
but it's better than New York or Boston.
Well, sure. Yeah. Yeah. And the people don't seem to know how to drive very well there, from what I
Well,
recall.
that's universal. I don't
Yeah.
know if I found anywhere where the people really are great drivers or courteous or anything like that.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's some areas that people are a little better than others, or at least they think they are.
I'll go with the latter on that one.
Yeah. So, what did you guys end up making? I don't remember, because I don't remember seeing you guys. I don't think, did you guys live stream it? I don't remember seeing the
Yeah,
live
we
stream.
live streamed it. It was on my channel, so
Oh, okay. Because I
you
was looking
obviously don't
forward to.
watch my show, you bastard.
Stop it. I do. I pop in from
Okay.
time to time. You have so many. That's the problem. I'm
Well,
not sure
anyways,
which
I
one.
made this.
Oh, wow.
That's I don't know
That's,
how well you can see that.
yeah, I can see it really well.
Yeah.
So
Well, anyways,
is that a bottle opener or?
oh no. I made that for my co-host and Navigator Supreme. That's for Hemi 4-speed,
Okay.
and that's a cock ring.
in a way, that's kind of a sideways insult because it didn't look like that was very, that was very big. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Mr. Hemmy's
I've never seen Mr. Hemmy in the buff, so I got to guess.
Yeah, he's gonna. Maybe he's watching this episode. He's gonna have to defend his honor. I think possibly. I don't know. There might be a falling out.
Well, I sent him the link. He should be on here, or at least he should have tried to get in.
All right. So you made the cock ring. Did you guys make anything else, or it was just a?
Ike had me make a J hook.
Okay.
And then the next day we were going to make knives, but we went out and ate too much, and I got into a food coma, and we didn't wind up making the knives.
These were the railroad spike knives.
Yes, railroad spike knives.
The coveted. I totally want one of those. I don't know why, but I do. Okay. So you had fun out there. You got to see the Bacon and Soldier Girl, and
oh god,
that was a funny stream that you guys were on. You gotta check out if anybody's watching this. Maybe I'll put a link in the description. It was a Seriously podcast. I think it was the Friday night before that you guys. I think it was a Friday. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it
that's
was
right.
Friday.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so if anybody's interested, tune into that that podcast from a couple weeks ago. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a great show until the females showed up, and it was like we were invaded with chaos.
Yeah, well,
they showed up. We were afraid they're jamming music, and we were afraid they were gonna, get us a copyright strike, and then they just come in, blah blah blah. Look at me, look at me, look at me, and like, yeah.
Well, the one I remember, from what I recall, there was a redhead, and she was all over Scotty.
She was blonde.
Blonde,
and they were both all over Scotty. What else we did out there is Rebel Against Defeat was out because he has family out there in Portland, and Ike and I met up with Scotty and Rebel Against Defeat at a brewery there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a steak, and they ate stuff too. It was a really decent steak. And that's another thing about truck driving. You can't drink for 24 hours before you drive.
Mm.
So
really? 24?
I very rarely drink unless I'm going to have at least a 48-hour weekend,
mm-hmm.
which I rarely take any time off because I'm all about making money and stacking cash.
Right.
My goal is in 5 years to be able to build myself a workshop where I can build ultralight airplanes.
Oh.
I've worked most of my life in aviation. I got a master's in mechanical engineering.
Oh wow.
And so
well,
I want to build an ultralight and sell it.
Okay, let's talk about that a bit. So what made you have you always been interested in flight, or?
Oh yeah, I love flight. I was air crew in the Navy. I've got an A&P license, which is a mechanic's license, and it's since I'm old, it's the lifetime license. I don't have to renew it every couple of years or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I've designed them, I've fixed them, I've modified them. I just love aviation. I've gotten to work on some, other cool things, like I've worked on some satellites.
Oh wow!
And I worked on when I was going to school. This was back before they had computer modeling that would allow you to check out your product in a digital environment. And I made balsa models of satellites this is while I was going to school. I made balsa models of satellites so they could do a fit and clash analysis.
Wow,
And that was
that's
my
really
job
old
while I
school.
was, yeah, that's what I did while I was getting my degree.
Cool.
So it was a great student job. You got to see how everything was put together,
Hmm.
and you made a facsimile of it, and you had to be really precise. And there was a bunch of guys who had been doing it forever, and they were, since they were making satellites and space probes, um, they were the best of the best, and that was
So,
really neat.
so you were in the Navy. Were you on a, um, oh my gosh, why can't aircraft carrier or?
Yes, I first I was in a squadron, and we deployed on whatever ship would have us. Um, and then I was ship's company on board the USS Carl Vinson.
Around what years were you doing that kind of stuff? 80s?
Yeah, I got in '88 and got out in '96.
Oh, so did you go over to the first Gulf War? Were you involved in
I
that at all?
did. I did. I was on the Enterprise during that war.
Oh, wow. That's a big ship.
Yep.
I remember building a model of that when I was a kid.
But it's small compared to the new ones, the Gerald Ford and the Reagan. Then there's all the Nimitz class carriers that are bigger than the Nimitz, but not as big as the new ones. The Vincent was a Nimitz class carrier.
Mm-hmm.
So, with 5,400 or something like that on there, people.
Wow. Well, I've seen like documentaries where it's almost like its own little city.
Yeah, if everybody wore the same clothes and we're stacked 3 high when they're sleeping.
Oh gosh. That must be quite uncomfortable. It sounds
Well, the
uncomfortable.
worst part is I shared a toilet that had three uh, thrones and 3 showers, 2 urinals with 120 other guys.
Oh
That was the worst
gosh.
part.
Oh yeah. I would think so. Although I would imagine you guys you had to keep it, you couldn't be like leaving dumps in the toilet unflushed, right?
Well,
You
it
gotta leave it
was
nice.
when we went to port and people had been drinking, it got pretty awful.
Oh gosh. Oh
But
God.
when we
Yeah.
were at sea and sober, it was clean.
Hmm.
It's just, there's a limited availability.
Yeah. Yeah. I could understand. I guess it's better than, just sticking your ass over the side of the boat like they did back in the way old days, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why the wind on the old sailing boats would blow from the back to the front, so they would actually poop at the front of the ship.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I've been on an old sailing ship, just like at a museum, and they had the
Yeah.
toilets in the front, or one toilet. It wasn't really a toilet; it was more like a seat. It was,
Right, and that seat on the old ships was only for the officers. The like crew had to they had sort of a net,
Hmm.
and they would go out there and sit on the net, their ass hanging out. Bloop.
Oh boy, how did we get onto this part of the conversation?
Yeah.
All right, I'm
But
going
anyways,
to.
that was another traveling job that I had. I got to see every continent on the planet, and the only one that I didn't have a beer in was Antarctica.
Hmm. Oh wow, you went to Antarctica too.
Yep. On Westpac 94, our skipper thought that it would be great if we could fly in the desert heat and the Arctic cold and prove that we were battle ready for any environment.
Okay, you gotta put something to rest here for Polska Bob.
Okay.
Is there Is there a secret base in Antarctica?
No, there is not. There's
There
a
you
whole lot of nothing in Antarctica.
there you go, Bob. And wait, hold on. We put this one to rest too. Do you remember seeing like any other something land that wasn't one of the 7 continents?
No.
Okay, we'll put
Other
that
than
one to rest.
islands, there's
Yeah,
islands
well,
out there
sure.
that aren't part of continents. Places like Hawaii.
Oh, yeah, Hawaii's nice. Well, so what's your favorite port of call?
I'm sure it's completely changed because this was back in the 80s and early 90s. But Perth, Australia used to just be phenomenal if you were a single man with some money in your pocket.
We'll be right back after this quick break. Did you know I have merch? It's true. You just got to go to my website, BillyVonBaum.com. We got some pretty cool merch over there. And you know what's really cool? I designed it myself. That's right, all the merch on my site, I designed myself. So, by buying my merch, you're supporting the artist directly, the guy who actually made it. And we got cool stuff like this. And we got cool stuff like that. I'm not government approved. I bet you're not government approved either. You can show your support by getting one of my shirts. That's right. Look at this guy. He's got my shirt. How about that guy? Yeah. How would you like to walk around with bomb on your shirt? That's right. Yeah. Keep calm and bomb. Even old guys get my stuff. See? Check it out. Canceling the cancel culture. That's what I like to do. And you can get a shirt that says those things. And coming soon, skaterwear style. Hey, you know what? You can even get a shirt for the cat lady in your life, like your sister or your mom. You can find it all right at BillyVonBaum.com/merch. Stop by today, and why don't you pick something up? You'll enjoy it. I promise. I remember when I first started kind of looking around at all MGTOW and everybody who was kind of involved and, figuring out who I like listening to and looking at and following. So I saw you, it has to be over a year ago now.
Yep.
On I forget the stream, who it was or whatnot, but you were like farming. You were doing some kind of homestead and you were building like a room, I think. So
Well,
let's talk
what
about that a
happened?
little bit.
Yeah, what happened was when I got back from Ukraine, I looked around for free land, and I found a piece of land in a little town. Well, not actually in the little town, but in the tax base of a little town, where they would give you 2 acres of land if you would go and move there and put some type of an improvement on there and agree to pay property taxes, of course. And when I got there, I liked it so much, I bought the 2 plots that were on either side of me, and I've now got 6 acres of land, lakeside or lakefront property on a little reservoir in Kansas, and I've got a homestead out there. You had to improve it your first year, so I lived in a tent.
Wow.
And I put a little house out there that I built.
Now this is really interesting. Okay, because I didn't I know that in some states and some locales that you could they'll give you like a chunk of land. So, but this is really interesting to me. So let's dig into this.
There's certain different cities, and it's usually on a city basis, where they are losing population, and they don't want to see themselves die out as a municipality. So they have these deals where they will either give you, an old building, like in New England, in Maine especially, you can get buildings in some seaside town, and you have to go in there and fix it up and live there, and out in the West, they'll give you a little bit of land. And that's what I did. I got a little land. I've got 6 acres there. It's all paid for now. I paid for it with the money that I had left over from running the English school in Kiev. And I lived out there until I started trucking. And I mainly started trucking because the summer got really oppressive and I didn't have any air conditioning. And I was wanting to do something to save up enough money to make the shop a going concern and set up my off-grid power system and everything like that, because it's completely off-grid out there. There's no city water, there's no electricity, there's no phone lines. My nearest neighbor's 1.5 miles away. And it's completely natural, lots of timber, which you wouldn't expect in Kansas, but my place is full of timber. I've got tons of different animals around there. And it was tremendous to, spend that much time out in nature after living in a big city like Kiev.
Now, so you left Kiev, obviously. When did you leave Kiev? Let me ask you.
I left the December before the Russians invaded. One of the guys that I really hold in high regard that lived over there owned a computer company. He owned an IT company. And he got all of his programmers and shipped them to Turkey because he could tell that the invasion was going to happen. And he said to me, if you were smart, you'd sell out and leave. So I did.
Wow.
Of course, I didn't get very much money because having an actual English speaker at the English school was their big draw. But I had some corporate clients, and these guys just basically bought my client list from me.
Right. But so you just basically got your ass out of there right before this whole thing went down.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
And that's another thing. If you're traveling, you have to open your eyes and see what's going on in the world.
You getting out of Kiev and whatnot, because I know what's his name, that guy, Coach Red Pill Gonzalo Lira. I mean, he can't leave. I think they arrested him recently again.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did.
Yeah.
Because he's basically, a foreign propagandist living inside of a country that's at war.
Yeah.
It's kind of a stupid thing to do if you're, I wouldn't want to go to a Ukrainian jail.
No. Well, what got me about that guy is he would make these videos of him like, here I am doing a walk around town, and it's like they're gonna find you.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So
some people just don't have any common sense.
The homesteading, because I'm sure there are people interested in this. I know for a fact there are people interested in this. How did you find it? Like, what were your steps that you went through to find this piece of land? How can other people find these things?
Well, I watched a YouTube channel called The World According to Brave that talk about homesteading and free land and different stuff like that. And then I went and did a bunch of Google searches. I did probably about 2 months worth of Google searching.
And you just came up with a list of where
Yeah.
where you'd like to go, what they have, and
I found a place that was very close to where I grew up as a child, and you know, I jumped on it, and they were happy to have me.
that's awesome. So, guys listening to this, if you're interested in the lifestyle of homesteading, getting a piece of land for how much investment? Just roughly. You don't have to put an exact number on it.
You know, if I was to just go with the free land, and I spent $5,000 putting in the road. Most of that was, having the gravel hauled out. Then I bought some equipment for another 2,000, so we're up to 5 now. And then lumber was about 5. So you could easily get started for 10 grand on a free piece of property and live very basically.
Yeah. And just keep improving. That's
Right.
a pretty good deal. So I think people, if you're interested in this, to what was the name of that channel that you said?
The World According to Briggs.
The World According to Briggs. Go check that channel out, and then start doing the Google search. Can people talk to you about it if they're
Of course.
interested? Just to get it like an idea of
Yeah,
how to
I'll
start
talk homesteading to anybody, anytime. I stream every
awesome.
day for 12 hours, usually.
Oh. So there you go. If you guys want to learn about homesteading, how to get started, where to look, here's your guy. He's doing it. He's working it. And you want to say F you to, blue cities and get away from bullshit. Time to get out into the country and homestead like your great grandparents did if they lived here at any point.
But with power tools.
Yes, with power tools, which makes things way more easier.
Yes, it does.
Although you need like solar and whatnot, I imagine, to get them running.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I have a gas-powered generator, but my favorite power tool is my gas-powered auger, so I don't have to dig holes.
Oh,
Because digging holes is really, really hard work, and I'm
yeah.
an old man, so.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So a little bit ago, you were talking about this ferryman project. So
Right.
can we talk about that for a few minutes?
Well, the ferryman project is where we're going to, and it's still a work in progress, start a charity that will connect MGTOW brothers who are still alive with guys who are dying. There's been some people recently who have passed on who I know had nobody at their bedside to help them go, pass on from this mortal coil. Seafood Black Irish was a pretty good friend of mine. He and I did a lot of private talking about the homesteading, and he was also a science fiction writer, but he'd had cancer and a really, really awful divorce, and he was basically living on a razor's edge, almost homeless, but not quite.
Mm-hmm.
And he died with no friends and no family around, and it was tragic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be matching up retired MGTOW with guys that are just about, that are terminally ill.
Mm.
And just to have somebody sit around and listen to your stories or take care of some final business for you if you need it. The project is designed to pay for plane tickets, hotel rooms, car rental, and food for the person who goes out and visits the terminally ill MGTOW brother.
Okay. And have you guys started like a website or?
We have Gone with John lined up to do our web design, but the first thing we've got to take care of is getting set up as a 501
C3.
C3 charity. And Rusty Rivers is trying to get an accountant who will help us out with that because he knows a lot of financial stuff.
Okay, so because I remember Rusty was talking on one of Hammer's streams about buying a house down in Mississippi. I want to say.
That's a different project. That's the MGTOW house, and he's got that done. And absolute knowledge seeker, Lord Jeremy Hirsch, are down there already taking advantage of that. And I believe R.P. Pope is coming to visit. I don't know if he's decided to move down there or not, but Rusty is got that place ready and open. And if you're needing to get back on your feet, it's a resource you can use.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So yours is different, and yours is so you're waiting for the 501c to get set up. So when do you think you'll all be ready to roll on this?
I don't know. It's more complex than I would have thought it was.
Is there are you guys taking donations at this time, or
No.
Not yet.
One of the things that we really want to have, because there's been some people who were scam artists in the past who have taken advantage of the MGTOW Brotherhood. We want to be completely transparent and not have even the slightest ability for anybody to come and steal the money.
Okay, so this is really interesting. I didn't know you guys were working. I knew about. I remember listening to Rusty about the house, so I didn't know that this was another separate project. But I guess, are you guys going to tie them together, or just totally different, totally separate?
It's separate right now.
Yeah.
I'm a member of the. Well, when Rusty passes, because he might one of these days. He's got some guys that are going to sort of look out for it for him.
That's a really interesting idea, because I mean, there's a lot of guys who are like the person you described, who don't have any family, don't have any anybody in their life really. So that's a noble idea, a noble project. I like the idea. Where can people find you?
Well, they can find me on YouTube every day, broadcasting when I'm not on a break, YouTube enforced break for medical misinformation because of some unpopular views I hold.
Quote unquote medical misinformation.
No, that's what they hit me for, was medical misinformation.
Of course.
We won't say what. That'll keep your channel safe.
Yeah. I can't believe that they're still doing that, but go ahead.
Yeah. Especially when I was quoting government reports. I
That's
wasn't even.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Just look me up at Brandon Trueblood on YouTube, and I'm sure that Billy will include the link.
Absolutely. I will put the links in the description, as well as at the end of the show with my little outro. I might do something different this time. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah.
Brandon, it's been a pleasure having you on, talking to you. I feel like I could talk to you for another 2-3 hours, but I know you've had a long day. And I know you want to probably get something to eat, take a shower.
No, actually not.
No?
I eat one meal a day, because that's something we didn't talk about trucking. It's not exactly a high energy job. So if your caloric intake is large, you will soon follow.
Yeah, I can see. I can see how that can happen. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure you want to get some rest, read some books, and enjoy your night. So again, thanks for coming on. I'm probably have you on again in the not so distant future, and we'll talk some more about whatever tickles our fancy. Sound good?
It's been a pleasure, Billy. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for stopping by. Have a good night.
Good night.
And I'd like to thank you for joining us for this show, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.